with the amount of energy that I gave in my performance at House of Glory's High Intensity 8, I'm surprised I even have a voice right now. I honestly didn't even think I was going to make it through TakeOver because these shows are so demanding of one's attention and one's emotion. I honestly, and I say this every single time, folks, and I know that you know it's true, I don't even know what to say half the time I come on here to talk about a takeover after it's over. It's 11 o'clock. I intentionally waited an hour because at the end of that main event, I didn't know what to think. I really didn't. I had to let it settle. I had to let it just digest. We got so much in that main event. I'm probably not going to go over every little detail. There's no way that I could. But man, I tell you, NXT again have been professional. They have been absolutely on fire. Whether you think the product is kind of sluggish as of late or it's, not the same as it used to be. And I mean used to be, back in the beginning of the year. And I mentioned that all these call-ups that had happened through January all the way up until April, that's what legitimately has given NXT this vibe amongst many people that it's not really the same. And every single time you start feeling that, we watch a takeover and you don't feel that anymore. You don't really feel it anymore. I'm starting to hear rumors of Vince McMahon having more influence over NXT when they move NXT to FS1 in October and they change it from 1 to 2 hours. I'm not even going to talk about it because A, I can't yell, B, I don't want to complain, and C, I don't think I really have that much energy to dive into something so deep as Vince McMahon taking over NXT and taking as much power as he wants away from Triple H. That's the latest that I heard before this show. Again, I will not dive into that. I don't want to ruin what was another great takeover show. I don't want to ruin what was Summerslam. This was my Summerslam tonight, folks. I'm sure it was your Summerslam as well. I don't know how WWE is going to follow that up. They could go to TV 14 all they want. I'm hearing that SummerSlam is going to be brutal, that there's going to be bloodshed, that it's going to be mature. We'll see. But TakeOver tonight, man, absolutely fantastic show. Only one real blemish on the show, and I know you know what that was. We'll talk about it, but there's a few things I want to go over, and I'm going to be all over the place here, man, because I am exhausted, I am sleep deprived, and I honestly want to finish this so that I can get to sleep because I need sleep for SummerSlam tomorrow. I want to be good to go for SummerSlam. A few things I want to go over. Seen a lot of people on Twitter asking me, was it the best takeover of the year? The answer is no. It was not the best takeover of the year. I can't rate these takeovers, nor will I, but I know out of everything that I've seen this year, NXT Takeover New York was my personal favorite takeover of the year. I loved everything about that show, and after tonight, going into my next question, was Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano 3 the best of the 3 matches? The answer is no. The one at NXT Takeover New York is what made Takeover New York for me the best takeover, on top of that unbelievable tag team title match with the War Raiders, and then Ricochet, Aleister Black being the challengers there, coming out of the Dusty Classic. Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano in that first match in this series of 3 was the selling point for me for that show. That was the best match in the trilogy. That's what made NXT TakeOver New York my favorite takeover of the year. I know a lot of people don't like the kick out of all the finishers. They didn't like Johnny Gargano becoming Superman and thwarting off all of Undisputed Era. I don't give a shit. I suspended my belief in that because that was a picture-perfect, as picture-perfect you could be, telling that story with Johnny getting the title without his co-star being Tommaso Ciampa. So I don't give a shit what people say. That was the best match of the 3. So that's my answer to that. And I'm not saying tonight wasn't a great match. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but that was my favorite of the three. Now, the biggest selling point going into this was Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era and the prophecy that they had set forth. They were going to win all the titles in NXT, all the men's titles at least. Roderick Strong for the North American Championship, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish for the Tag Team Championships, and then Adam Cole being the NXT champion going in. He was going to retain, and at the end of the night, all 4 members of Undisputed Era would be dripping in championship gold. That did not end up being the case. Obviously, if you watch the show tonight, Adam Cole retained the NXT Championship. WWE, or I should say Triple H and his team, clearly did not want Undisputed Era to look incredibly weak coming out of TakeOver here tonight in Toronto. So Adam Cole beat Johnny Gargano to keep Undisputed Era looking credible because they have Adam Cole, their leader, as the NXT World Champion. That keeps them looking strong, no matter if O'Reilly Fish didn't capture the Tag Team Championships, and no matter if Roderick Strong didn't capture the North American Championship. Roddy looked strong even in defeat in his match. Undisputed Era in the opening match against the Street Profits looked good. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. Absolutely nothing to be ashamed of there. But Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong losing by design with Adam Cole being the only member of Undisputed Era to win, that was done on purpose. I am afraid of what is to come. Because I will tell you, at the end of TakeOver, Johnny Gargano, in defeat, cameras went off. I had people who were there, who were taking film, pictures, video. Johnny Gargano was given a send-off at the end of TakeOver Toronto. Johnny Gargano, more than likely, is going to be demoted to Monday Night Raw catering. This scares the shit out of me. On the same side of the fence, I heard tonight that Vince McMahon has expedited the Undisputed Era's call-up to the main roster. So, not only has Vince McMahon exiled most of Triple H's fucking talent this year from NXT that made NXT the very best that it's ever been, he took from NXT from January till April. And now, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong are more than likely going to be demoted to the main roster, man. Catering is going to be overflowing with VIPs. And I mean that in all seriousness. I give absolutely no hope to those guys. Johnny Gargano is going to get buried on the main roster. They couldn't even book Ricochet the right way. Look at what they're doing to Aleister Black. Look at Sami Zayn. I look at Sami Zayn in the same way that I look at Johnny Gargano. He had all the potential in the world to be a blue-collar fucking unbelievable babyface. That's what we have in Johnny Gargano. Johnny reminds me of Bret the Hitman Hart. Now you're going to put him on the main roster? You're going to put Johnny in front of Vince McMahon. All Vince McMahon is going to see is someone that's not Roman Reigns. You're going to put him in front of Vince McMahon. You're going to put him in front of all these fucking cretins that don't know any better. And Johnny's going to get embarrassed because he's too small. He's a vanilla midget, right? They got the same mentality as these fucking cretins on social media. He's going to get buried. Our guy, Johnny, is going to get buried. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen to Undisputed Era? You know? I know WWE is chomping at the bit for Undisputed Era to get to the main roster. So the OC have someone to feud with outside of the New Day. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Undisputed Era lost with Adam Cole being the only one winning. That was done by design. Johnny, gone. There's nothing left for Johnny to do. Johnny, in this match, went for the world title. Lost in a 2 out of 3 falls, pretty much a 3 stages of hell match, with the lasting image of him falling off a steel cage 20 feet with barbed wire wrapped around his wrist through a table. There's nothing left for him to do. There's nothing left. He's not getting the World Championship, and the World Championship is the only reason why Johnny would stay in NXT. No more. No more. The reaction tonight all but solidified Johnny Gargano getting demoted to the main roster. There's nothing left for him to do. And with the reports of Ciampa being well ahead of schedule, you can guarantee that Ciampa is getting the World Championship back. And when that happens, Undisputed Era is pretty much going to get buried. Main roster bound for Adam Cole and his boys, Bay. I hate saying that. Tommaso Ciampa is going to be the next Johnny Gargano down in NXT. Johnny Gargano is a blue-collar underdog babyface that everybody loves. I could sense people getting bored of Johnny Gargano because he's there all the time in the same situation for the world title. I understand and I know enough is enough. But I am never going to complain about seeing Johnny against Adam Cole 3 straight takeovers. This is going down as one of the best trilogies in the history of this company. But Johnny has had enough in NXT, man. You know when someone's ready to graduate, that it's their time. Tommaso Ciampa, after everything he's been through with the documentaries on the WWE PC channel, he's coming back as Johnny Gargano. He really is. He's going to be that next babyface. There's no way that man is going to be a heel. He was a babyface to most of us anyway, even when he was a heel. So now he's going to be a babyface in a real babyface fashion, because we all love him anyway. We loved him then. We even love him more now. And everybody now sees the real Ciampa with his wife and his kid and the surgery and him giving up the championship. There's no way you cannot sympathize with that man. Giving up a championship he didn't want to give up. Giving up a championship he never lost. He never lost. That title is going right back to him. And then the Undisputed Era is going to the main roster. Those are the things I took away from this show. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into these results, man. It was a great show. A really, really, really great show. I would say out of all the takeovers this year, I would say that this is the second best takeover of the year. NXT Takeover New York being number 1 for me. NXT Takeover Toronto ranking number 2. NXT Takeover Phoenix being number 3. And NXT Takeover 25 being number 4. They were all fantastic shows. It's probably unfair of me to even rank them in that order. Your order might be looking different than mine, but that's my order. That's the first thing that popped into my head, because I know when I watch these shows, I watch intently, never to pick up my phone. I'm on my iPad taking my notes, but I never deviate away to text anybody unless it's my boy Jesse that we talk wrestling about back and forth on a weekly basis, or it's my best friend Pete. My best friend Pete even texted me saying that this was one of the craziest matches that he's ever seen in WWE, meaning the Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole 3 stages of hell match. I don't even want to call it a 2 out of 3 falls match, because Vince McMahon already ruined that mentality in all of us by doing 2 out of 3 falls matches every single week on Monday Night Raw. This was a great takeover. We're going to dive into it right here on the podcast, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Those are my opening thoughts on everything that I seen beforehand and I seen afterwards here after TakeOver. This is Off the Script, NXT TakeOver Toronto official review. Make sure you guys follow me on social media, man, quickly, at JD from NY206. That's both on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys check out all my other videos this week. If you missed my SummerSlam predictions and Off the Script Part 1, make sure you guys check the comment section down below. You will see a comment pinned by me down below. Everything you need will be right there. Go and check it out before we get into the biggest fraud of the summer. Tomorrow night, Summerslam. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you guys for everything after last night's House of Glory show, man. My voice is okay, even though I put all my emotion into it. I gotta thank the Solid Monster Jason for sitting with me the entire show. We had a blast. I gotta thank everybody that went on All Elite Wrestling's YouTube channel and seen the clips that they uploaded to their YouTube channel. And I looked in the comment section, and I would say about 50% of the comment section were vouching for me and telling Cody, Matt, Nick, and Kenny to hire me for AEW, man, after the job that I did, after the job Solid Monster did, aiding me and being my partner in crime yesterday, wanting me to be a part of AEW in some way, shape, or form. Better yet, a part of their commentary team, replacing Alex Marvez. I want to thank each and every one of you, man. It made my heart smile for the first time in a long time, seeing all that love and support in All Elite Wrestling's YouTube channel comment section on the House of Glory content that they uploaded, man. Hopefully something comes of it. I do this because I love it. I do it because I love this business. I'm here every single week talking pro wrestling to you guys because I love it. I want to see it get better. I want to make an impact on whether it's giving you guys analytics from watching the show, or if you guys are going through a difficult time, you guys listen to me and you feel better for about an hour or two. But thank you guys so very much. Thank you to everybody that came up to me after the show. Thank you for ordering the show if you did, and tweeted at me in support of what we were doing for House of Glory, man. Everything means the most to me. Everything is just, right now, it feels good. It feels good, and I want to thank you guys so very much. We killed it last night. Dean, Big Hodge, Brian XL, everybody involved, all the men and women a part of House of Glory. We absolutely killed it. It was the best show that we ever put on, and there is more to come. I can't wait to show you guys what we got in store for the rest of the year, man. Thank you guys so very much. And if you guys want to go order it and find out what all the buzz was about, the Young Bucks final independent match and against Private Party. Unbelievable tag team match to close that show. You guys can order it on Fight TV. Just go to Fight, type in House of Glory. It should be the first thing that pops up, man. Let's get into this TakeOver show. Start off with the Street Profits. If there's anything about a TakeOver show, anything about a TakeOver show at all, it's usually the first match is absolutely one of the best matches of the year. I wouldn't say this is the best match of the year per se. It's not even the best match to open a TakeOver this year, but you know for a fact that they are going to start this show on fire. And there's no difference here on TakeOver Toronto. Street Profits versus the Undisputed Era. I had the Undisputed Era guys winning this match because I was sold on the Undisputed Era, going for all the gold and having all the gold at the end of the night. Street Profits, this was their biggest match to date, and they did not disappoint. Street Profits end up getting the clean victory over the Undisputed Era and retain the NXT Tag Team Championships in a shocker. So right out of the gate, Triple H is shocking us. Everybody thought Undisputed Era was going to win. Triple H trolled us. Street Profits end up retaining the titles. They came out in a beautiful purple and red ring attire. They looked great tonight. Both Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins had the best match of their careers up until this point tonight with the Undisputed Era. Insanely over everybody, man. It is great that people are really loving the Street Profits. This is what you need to do with them on Monday Night Raw. That red Solo Cup, man, was littered in that arena, in the crowd. You seen everybody when the Street Profits came out holding a red Solo Cup. That shit is awesome. I love it. Dawkins grabbed O'Reilly at the start, started choking him out, started yelling, "Who do you think is a joke now?" Because Kyle O'Reilly made that fucking joke on NXT TV a couple of weeks ago. Listen, I got a great joke that I just came up with in the back. And he mentioned, the NXT Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. The NXT Tag Team Champions are the Street Profits. Ha 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 ha. That was the joke. I love it. Kyle O'Reilly is fucking awesome. Profits seem to be in control, making quick tags, keeping Bobby Fish early on in their portion of the ring. The Profits were using double team moves when Ford was tripped up and knocked off the apron by Fish. Dawkins came to Ford's rescue and was cleaning house, but he was soon outnumbered by O'Reilly and Fish. Undisputed Era then worked over Dawkins. They grounded him. He eventually tagged out, and Ford ran wild. Big jumping lariat, man. Montez Ford. The man gets height, and the man makes literally everything he does so fucking easy. He literally makes everything easy. It's as if I could do it. No human being. Now, I know I can't do it. I wish I could. But no human being should be that gifted and that talented. He literally makes everything look super smooth, and Montez Ford is legitimately money in the Street Profits. I don't want to say anything bad about Angelo Dawkins, but we all know the money there is in Montez Ford. They are great together. I fear that when Vince McMahon or whomever on the main roster sees how great Montez Ford is, Angelo Dawkins might be phased out very slowly but surely, and I don't want that for him because they are a great duo together, and they are the NXT Tag Team Champions. I'll mention that and why I think they're together still as champions in a little bit. Undisputed Era walked over Dawkins as they grounded him, like I said. Ford ran wild with that big jumping lariat, standing moonsault, picture perfect. Spinebuster set up by Ford, teasing a people's elbow. He was going for Dwayne Johnson's finishing move, or one of Dwayne Johnson's finishing moves. He didn't get it. He was stopped. O'Reilly grabbed Ford's leg to break up the attempted people's elbow. Ford, a moment later, then delivered a rock bottom. A rock bottom. Mauro Ranallo didn't call it a rock bottom. He called it a Uranagi. But we knew what he was going for. We knew what it was when he actually connected. Mauro really made it a thing to not mention The Rock. He mentioned Hobbs and Shaw instead. So, he didn't want to mention Dwayne Johnson on this broadcast for whatever reason, but he did mention Hobbs and Shaw, which Dwayne Johnson is starring in. O'Reilly grabbed Ford's leg to break up the elbow. Like I said, Ford a moment later then delivered the rock bottom, and a chop block to the knee cut off Ford. So that was a great move because his legs are his greatest strength. Era did a great combo that was a DDT into a German suplex. I believe it was Kyle O'Reilly DDTing Ford. And then in the DDT position, he lifted Ford up on top of his feet. He was like doing a bench press with his feet. And he catapulted Ford into Bobby Fish, and Bobby Fish caught him into a suplex, a German suplex. It looked fucking fantastic. Unbelievable stuff there. Ford and Fish fought while they were up top on the top turnbuckle. Fish gave him a super exploder, and O'Reilly leapt off the top rope with a beautiful flying knee. This was when the match was really amping up, man. Crowd was getting into it. They were hanging on to every move. This is what I love about NXT Tag Team title matches, man. They are so unbelievable. O'Reilly then applied an Achilles lock. Dawkins made the save in a very great way to break it up. And he took Bobby Fish, delivered a spine buster on Bobby Fish on top of Kyle O'Reilly, broke up the submission hold. Crowd was going crazy. They legitimately gave all four guys a standing ovation. Dawkins ran wild off of a hot tag. Profits then did a beautiful doomsday blockbuster off the top rope. O'Reilly, near fall on O'Reilly. Fish made the save. Then we had all four guys taking part in a slugfest. All four guys were going at it, left and right. Ford flew over the ropes with a tope. Dawkins speared both O'Reilly and Fish. Ford jumped off the top rope for a frog splash on O'Reilly. 1, 2, 3, and the Street Profits defeat Undisputed Era in a great tag team match to open TakeOver Toronto, and they are still tag team champions. I thought Undisputed Era was going to win this. You could look at it two ways. You could look at it the way I mentioned in the beginning with Undisputed Era losing, Roderick Strong losing, Adam Cole still the champion. They're going to keep the championship on Adam Cole when Tommaso Ciampa is set up to take that title off of Adam Cole. But instead of giving the titles to Undisputed Era, which they could have, because they're not being called up right now, you could have made the title switch. One has to wonder, though, if Triple H made an executive decision to keep those titles on the Street Profits because he sees them on Monday Night Raw, to keep the titles on the Street Profits so it gives WWE a signal as to, you know, Triple H has still got these guys as tag team champions. Maybe he doesn't want to completely give up the Street Profits push right now in their run in NXT because he doesn't want them to be demoted completely. He's okay with them making appearances here and there on Monday night, but if they weren't tag team champions, it would be more so that WWE was going to completely pull them from NXT and keep them on the main roster. This is done maybe on purpose by Triple H to keep them down in NXT just a little bit longer because he knows if they're not champions, then goodbye, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. It's just something that is out there. It's definitely a possibility. But either way, this was a great tag team match. Out of all the opening matches this year on TakeOver, I'm going to have to say this was the weakest. We had the tag team match to open Phoenix between the Undisputed Era and the War Raiders. We had War Raiders versus Ricochet and Aleister Black. We had Roderick Strong versus Matt Riddle. And then we had this one. Out of all four opening matches on all four takeovers this year, this was the weakest. Not to say this was a bad match, but this was the weakest of all four. But still a great tag team match and a great opening match, which is the usual for NXT takeovers. Talk about great match, man. This, if Johnny and Adam Cole wasn't as good as it was, this would be the match of the night. This is my match of the night, man. And for everybody that doubts me, fuck you. I love women's wrestling, okay? I want a certain type of women's wrestling. For all the times I make fun of Alexa Bliss, and I make fun of the Carmellas, and I make fun of the Moronics, right? You guys know why I do it. I'm pretty sure you know why I do it. The idiots out there, they don't understand because they don't have a fucking clue as to what real women's wrestling is. Why do I make fun of those matches? Why do I make fun of those performers? Because they genuinely suck. They are terrible. This is women's wrestling to me, folks. This match was fucking fantastic. This may be the best women's match of the entire year. I don't even know what else happened. I doubt anything else happened that was better than this. I doubt it. And I want you to just think about this for a second. After this, there was no way Shayna Baszler and Mia Yim were going to top this. There's no way. Absolutely no way. I want you to think about this for a second. Look at the effort both of these women gave you in this non-title match. This was for no titles, folks. This was an undercard match in a women's division right now in NXT that is kind of lacking because they have all the talent in the world, but they're not featuring most of that talent on TV because of who they have right now positioned tier by tier. This right here was the best thing outside of Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano on the show. And it was not for a fucking title. That goes to show you that these two women busted their ass. And women's wrestling, somewhere in this company, is still alive and breathing. Sasha Banks would be proud. Now, having a women's match like this on a takeover show, SummerSlam weekend, is not really a bizarre thing. Look at all the takeover matches that we got during SummerSlam weekend in the women's division, man. Sasha Bailey, right? Ember and Asuka. This is in that list of category right there. Women's matches, SummerSlam weekend on a takeover show being this good has become a tradition. Every single year, every single SummerSlam, you can fucking guarantee it that you're going to get one women's match that's going to blow you away for that entire weekend for wrestling. Takeover usually is the real deal. I love it. It's nice to see Io. Got to get this out there, man. Io came out. Hey, I love her theme music. Her theme music fits her beautifully, man. It's nice to see Io come out with actual ring gear. The last couple of times we've seen Io, black shirt, black leather pants. Now, I know you guys like the black leather pants. There's no reason for you not to like the new black leather pants. I know. But her wearing just all black, she looked like she was getting ready for a fucking Cannibal Corpse concert, man. We don't need Io Shirai to be fucking dressing emo. You know, all she needed to do was add the spiked chain around her neck and the fucking spike wristbands. She'd be looking like she's in a heavy metal female band. We don't need that. Io's too good for that. Io came out wearing actual ring gear to fit this new gimmick change and her heel turn. I loved it. The neon in the tights, the red hair, it went beautifully with the theme music and the vision of this new heel turn. Now, I can see why this change was done. Tonight was the clearest picture as to why this heel turn was done. I want you guys to think of Asuka and Kairi Sane and old Io Shirai when she came in, right? Look at all of them. They had the same vibe. They almost had the same look. Asuka was colorful and she was out there, but when she was in the ring, she was fierce. Kairi Sane, pirate, you know, very lovable. She looked like an anime character, which is big in Japan. She gets in the ring, she's cute, she's tiny, she's fierce. Io Shirai, same thing. She's beautiful, she's cute. She gets in the ring, she's tiny, she's flying all over the place. She's got a fierceness to her. They all had one thing in common, which was in the middle of that ring, in between those ropes, there was a certain fierceness there. There was a certain strong style there with all three. But they all looked the same. They all looked the same. And I love this new heel turn for Io because it differentiates herself from Asuka and Kairi Sane. If you took old Io and you demoted her, I don't even want to say promoted. Till they get better, I'm not going to use the word promoted on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. You're going up there for a fucking demotion. And in Asuka and Kairi Sane's situations, it's absolutely a burial. Never mind a fucking demotion. You take old Io and you put her on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live under that old gimmick, she's going nowhere. She'd be in catering, she'd be sitting down eating mashed potatoes next to Kairi and Asuka in the fucking corner. As all three Japanese girls sit together talking the same language because they don't know what the fuck's going on up there. You take old Io, she's buried on the main roster. You take this new Io, she looks different than Kairi. She looks different compared to Asuka. That old gimmick for all three, even Asuka and Kairi Sane right now, it's not translating. I wouldn't say translate. Asuka translated. They just don't want Asuka to be successful. Gimmicks like that don't translate to WWE. They don't. They don't. Look at AEW. Look at Riho in AEW. Look at all the Joshi girls in AEW. They don't translate to the American audience. The American audience appreciates the work rate and the talent that goes into their matches, but nobody can really get emotionally invested in their characters. They look exactly the same. All of them look exactly the same. Small, cute, fierce. Io now differentiates herself in a different way compared to everybody else. She's Americanized now. She looks more Americanized and acts more Americanized. Has a look that is very Americanized with the red hair and the black leather and the neon. The music. She's easily more understandable now under this old gimmick than she was in her older gimmick when she was a babyface. This is why I'm all aboard on this. And I love the risk, and I love the chance that they're taking on Io to go out there and be different. We still get the same Io. We know how fucking great she is. And tonight proved that. But under the new heel gimmick, it's translating incredibly well. So I love it. I'm a huge fan of this Io. And I don't know how anyone on the main roster can look at Io and not be a fan of what she's doing and how she looks. She's awesome. So Candice, at the start of this thing, rushed Io Shirai. She rushed into the ring, right at Io. Referee got involved, stopped it. Then they were pulled. Referee pulled both of them apart and rang the bell quickly. Candice said, fuck it. The bell rang now. Now I'm going all out on this bitch. Started quick. Io tried to powerbomb Candice on the outside, but Candice held on to the ropes, but could not save her. Io suplexed Candice LeRae on Morrow's table, and it looked brutal. I love Candice just as much as I love Io, because Candice used to wrestle men. Candice was with Joey Ryan. They used to do the intergender thing. Candice can take a fucking beating. She is just like her husband, and I love that. More women should have that mentality, man. The more intense you are as a female, the more exciting the match is, and the more believable it is. These women go out there, they're all fluff, they're afraid to throw a fucking punch, they can't take a bump, they don't know how to run the ropes. Candice doesn't give a fuck. That's why I love Candice LeRae so much, and that's why I would set her up, eventually, to take the title off of Shayna Baszler. But it looks like we're not going there, because with what Bianca Belair said on social media after TakeOver, we could be going right back to Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler for a rematch for the NXT Women's Championship. So she was suplexed on top of the announce table. Candice hit hard, looked great. Back in the ring, Io took advantage, and the crowd did not appreciate Io at all. They booed her. And great. That's exactly the reaction that she's supposed to get. Love it. Now, back in the ring, Io took advantage. And she is just so physical, man. It's just a refreshing thing to see, like I said, from a women's perspective in these matches. Fierceness, all out, just balls to the wall. They don't give a shit about their well-being. That's what I want to see, man. This is why the women on the main roster, most of them, are complete fucking garbage. If you are not a Becky Lynch or a Charlotte Flair, if you're not like a Ronda Rousey, a Shayna Baszler, they are going in there to legitimately fucking wrestle. These other women, these blondes, Sasha even. I love Sasha Banks. These other women, man, they don't want to break a fucking fingernail. That's their mentality. Oh, you can't give me a black and blue. I gotta look good in my bikini. That's all they're worried about. That's why I can't stand women's wrestling on the main rosters. Right back to being complete garbage. Meanwhile, we got this fucking gem that really should be the definition of what women's wrestling is in WWE. Candice tried to come back with a head scissors, and Io flipped through. I love her cockiness, man. She flipped right through that bitch, and she said, "Look, I'm on my feet. Wait, where you going? You expect to get one over on me?" And I love that cockiness, man, because it plays all into her character. So she flips through that, and she then spiked Candice with an air raid crash. Candice, like I said, can take a fucking beating, and that's exactly what she did here. Candice tried to get back into the match after a huge missile dropkick that missed by Io off the top rope. Candice then locked in an octopus lock on Io, and Shirai reached the ropes to break the hold. Io then went for a 619. Candice blocked it, turned it into a neck breaker. Io comes back with I believe it was a brainbuster. She got a brainbuster on Candice. Io then eventually got the 619 after that spot on Candice to the back of her neck. Candice then went with a tope into a DDT on the outside. She flew through the ropes, and very last minute, she turned it into a tilt-a-whirl DDT on the outside. Up top, double stomp on Io, 2 count only, crowd's going crazy. Io with a crossface on Candice, stiff forearm. Candice fought back, delivered a snap German suplex. Candice then with a reverse Rana, which looked brutal. That wasn't the first time tonight we've seen a fucking reverse Rana or someone land on their head, which I was genuinely scared of by the end of the night. Io comes back after Candice is caught off a springboard, and Io delivers a bridging German suplex. Meteora by Io. At the end of this thing, they were up top. Shirai executed a Spanish fucking fly after everything we've seen here. LeRae kicked out. Shirai counted a backslide into a backbreaker to set up her moonsault off the top. LeRae kicked out again. Crowd this time, every single one in the first couple of rows on their fucking feet for this thing, man. At this point, I'm like, this is the best women's match of the entire year. So Shirai then applied a Koji clutch. LeRae passed out. She did not tap out. She's gone from the Koji clutch. Io Shirai wins, and that is the end. Awesome showcase for both. Candice didn't tap out. Io wins by having Candice LeRae pass out, man. The best women's match of 2019 in WWE. Go back and watch. If there's one thing to watch from this show outside of Johnny and Adam Cole in that 3 stages of hell match, this is the one to go back and watch. This was fucking phenomenal. Matt Riddle interrupted the show. Bro. Heard rumors of Matt Riddle burying himself. WWE management is now completely fallen off the grid with Matt Riddle, which I don't understand. Oh, he had a few bad things to say about Bill Goldberg. Blow me. You're going to make Matt Riddle suffer because he said a few things about Bill Goldberg? Yeah, let's ruin the future of the fucking company to protect Bill Goldberg, who shouldn't even be on fucking television. Stupid idiots. This is the shit that I hate. If you're not going to let what do you want Matt Riddle to do? How do you want Matt Riddle to act and be? See, someone tell me. Seriously. The reason why he's in this feud is because of what he said. He should be on something, on a takeover that is top priority. He wasn't even on the fucking show outside of this impromptu interruption. Matt Riddle interrupted the show, got a microphone, bro, kicked off his slippers, wants Killian Dane. Called out Killian Dane, wanted to fight. Dane showed up like fucking, just like Gotham City throwing up the bat signal, mentions Killian Dane, he's right out there jumping the barricade. Dane entered the arena, jumped the barricade, a huge brawl erupted. They brawled around ringside, up the ramp, officials poured out trying to separate them. Riddle then fired some ripcord knees, and they were on stage. Dane had Riddle on his back. He tried to throw him, or bash him, I should say, into the LED boards. That was unsuccessful. Dane then has Riddle and one of these security guards. Now, the security guards got involved because they were trying to break this shit up. Matt Riddle was kicking these guys left and right, knocking them all out. One of them, unfortunately, ended up in this fucking melee. Dane had Riddle on his back, and one of these security guards tied up in this shit. All 3 of them jumped off the fucking stage and threw a table down below, exploding the table. And that's the way this thing ended. It was great. It was probably the best brawl that we've seen of the 3 so far that they've had the last 2 weeks on NXT TV, and I expected to see them here tonight. I thought they were going to have a match tonight, but we got an impromptu brawl, so I'm assuming we're going to see it somewhere in the next set of tapings on NXT TV at Full Sail. But it was a nice little break in between the transition going into the next show, or the next match, I should say, on the show. Velveteen Dream versus Pete Dunne versus Roderick Strong for the NXT North American Championship. I love me Velveteen Dream. I think he's great. I think he's awesome. Another guy I don't want in the grasp of Vince McMahon. Pete Dunne, we all know why he was there. And if you don't like Pete Dunne added to this match, at the end of this, I want to see you still complain to me. Are you complaining? No, the answer is no. But why is he getting a title shot? He didn't do anything. Look at the match that we got. Are you complaining? No. No, you're not. I know. Roderick Strong, MVP of NXT this year, one of them at least. Guy has produced the best so far. As long as he's been at NXT, this year is his best, no doubt. Velveteen Dream, every single takeover, man, like Finn Balor. He takes the theme of whatever city he's in and he applied it to the demon gimmick. Velveteen Dream does the same thing. Whether it's Hollywood Hogan, right, which he usually goes back and does, because he's a big Hogan mark. Whether he does Jake Roberts or Rick Rude or Razor Ramon, Dusty Rhodes, whatever. Tonight, they're in Canada. So instead of doing Bret the Hitman Hart, which is typical and everybody probably expected that, fucking Velveteen Dream comes out to the Mounties old theme music, man. We're not the Mounties. We're handsome. We're tall. We're brave. We're not the Mounties. I marked out. How can you not mark out to that fucking cheesy-ass fucking song? Seriously. He comes out to the Mounties theme music, and I'm thinking to myself, it's 2019, man. In a year that we've seen Goldberg versus the fucking Undertaker, in a year that we've seen WWE just trot out every fucking legend humanly possible to pop a cheap rating, I popped the fucking Mounties theme music in 2019. The Mountie was one of my favorites, man. As a heel, he was awesome. Him and PCO as the Quebecers, Jacques and Pierre, managed by Johnny Polo. That's a classic tag team right there, man. Don't at me. They were fucking great. Anyway, comes out to the Mounties theme music, and I can't believe on a takeover show we're hearing the Mounties theme. Now, the dance squad from the Toronto Raptors then came out after the Mounties theme song ended, and they were dressed as Mounties, and they did a dance routine. They took off all their clothes, and they did a dance routine before the Dream made his entrance wearing a Mountie hat. He took off the Mountie hat and threw it into the crowd. He was wearing the suspenders and everything. So, Dream, by the way, Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong, they made their entrances as usual. No special entrances for either one of those two guys. Dream was sent to the outside early. Roderick Strong was standing. He was like the odd child out. He was yelling and yelling and yelling. Hey guys, pay attention to me. Velveteen Dream was mouthing off at Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne was mouthing off at Velveteen Dream. They were both ignoring Roderick Strong. So Roderick Strong then got involved. He tossed the Velveteen Dream out. And we went right back to what we seen last week with Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. Or the week before that. But Dream was sent to the outside, leaving Strong and Dunne in the ring. Dream took off his suspenders. So the Mountie suspenders, goodbye. Dunne and Strong teamed up on Dream. Strong was sent to the outside, leaving Dunne to face off with Dream. Dunne was unimpressed by Dream mocking him, doing the Rick Rude. He was doing his Macho Man, and then he did the gyrations to Pete Dunne. You don't want to be gyrating like Rick Rude in front of Pete Dunne, man. You're going to have some broken fucking fingers, amongst other things, if you gyrate in front of Pete Dunne. So they went at it. Dream blocked a bitter end and got crotched by Roderick Strong. Strong then, clearly on the outside. This guy is fucking phenomenal. I mean, when Roderick Strong gets into these offensive outbursts, he is unbelievable, man. He did it twice in this match. This one was the first one. A flurry of backbreakers on the outside. He was going crazy. Strong worked over Dunne, stretched him. Dream jumped back into the ring. He did a tribute to Bret Hart, applied a sharpshooter on Strong. Dunne broke that up with a missile dropkick off the top rope. Strong flew outside with a wrecking ball dropkick. Dunne then did an acai moonsault. I always love the acai moonsault, man. I love calling that too when I do commentary for Hog. Onto the floor. This led to a three-way slugfest between all three guys. Dunne delivered a Death Valley driver, but Strong hit Dream with an Olympic slam. Dunne then hit Dream with an X-Plex. This completely leveled all three guys. They were all down. Then they did a Tower of Doom type spot off the top turnbuckle. Again, all guys were down. Dunne then applied a triangle on Roderick Strong in the corner. Dream broke it up with a coast-to-coast flying elbow. So imagine Pete Dunne getting a triangle. Not Shane McMahon's fucking terrible looking triangle. Pete Dunne has a triangle choke on Roderick Strong. Roddy backs him into the corner. So Roddy's back is against the turnbuckle, and Pete Dunne still has this hold applied. Now imagine Velveteen Dream going to the top rope. In one corner, you got Dream on the top rope. In the other corner, you got Pete Dunne with a triangle on Roderick Strong. He jumps all the way doing the Shane McMahon coast-to-coast, or better yet, the RVD coast-to-coast. And he delivers a Macho Man elbow drop. He delivers the Purple Rainmaker on top of Pete Dunne while this hold was still applied on Roderick Strong. It was a fucking beautiful spot. Strong then went back on fire, man. Both of these guys, you got Velveteen Dream and Pete Dunne back to their feet. Roderick Strong, I don't know what Morrow called it. It was a fucking train of some sort, train of fucking chaos, or whatever the fuck was going on. He did the same thing to Matt Riddle at TakeOver 25, which was the best spot of that match. Ran the ropes back and forth, delivering elbows. And it was as if he was fucking slapping high fives, going back and forth, elbowing these guys consecutively back and forth. It was like 4 or 5 different times. He ran back and forth, delivering elbow shots to both Pete Dunne and the Velveteen Dream. Unbelievable spot, man. That was the second spot in Roddy, in which Roddy had this offensive attack. I love it. I love it. He is one of the best, one of the most legit, strong style guys that they got, but he makes everything and everyone look more legit at the end of the night, man. You got to give it up for Roderick Strong. So that was the elbow spot, and then he does a series of suplexes. He put both in a stronghold at the same time. Velveteen Dream got the worst of it because his back was more wrenched than Pete Dunne was. So he did the stronghold at the same time on both Dunne and Dream. Dream went for a double Death Valley driver. He couldn't do it. He was just so exhausted. I thought he was going to do it. He was going to go for a Dream Valley driver on both of them, and he just couldn't do it. So that was blocked. Dunne then did a double finger snap. A bitter end by Dunne on Strong, which could have been the end, should have been the end. Nobody should be kicking out of the bitter end by Pete Dunne. This led to Dream diving in to stop the count. Dunne tied Dream up in a knot and then hit him with a curb stomp. Strong did a roll and applied a stronghold. Dream executed a Death Valley driver on Dunne. Strong delivered the end of Heartache. Dream then came in and stole the pin after Roddy's end of Heartache. So Velveteen Dream pins Pete Dunne off of Roderick Strong's finishing move. So there you go. So Roddy did everything right, but with the triple threat rules, Velveteen Dream took advantage. Whoever produced this match, whoever set forth the pacing of this match and the spots in this match for the triple threat, this is how a triple threat is done. These guys get it. The producers and agents in NXT get it. Normally, triple threat matches are very chaotic. Normally, triple threat matches are very sloppy. This was fucking awesome. I know a lot of you guys thought this was one of the best matches of the easily one of the best matches of the night. Some of you guys actually picked this to be match of the night. And I don't blame you. I'm not going to sit here and fucking tell you what you should enjoy. I thought this was fucking fantastic. I don't think it was better than Io and Candice. But man, these guys absolutely killed it. Roderick Strong, I thought, no question, was going to pin Pete Dunne and win the North American Championship. But going back to what I said in the beginning, this was done by design, man. Roderick Strong, O'Reilly, and Fish didn't win their matches. And Adam Cole ended up winning his match. Because Undisputed Era more than likely is going to drop the title to Tommaso Ciampa. And then that's the end. Because if WWE wanted to give the Undisputed Era this victory, it's probably easier, or a victory here and a victory in the opening match. It would have been a lot easier to do what they did here tonight instead of giving them the titles and then coming up with a way to get them, off of the Undisputed Era. So they figured, you know what? Being that Vince probably wants Undisputed Era, that their demotion is expedited, we're going to keep Dream looking strong. We're going to keep the Street Profits looking strong, and we're just going to go about our business. It is what it is. Not to take away anything from this match. I'm not worried about what's happening yet. I'll worry about that when we get there. This was a fantastic match. Dream looked strong. Roddy looked strong. Pete Dunne looked great. Fantastic triple threat match for the North American Championship. For the first time in the 26 takeovers that we had, for the first time in 26 takeovers, I wanted to fall asleep. Seriously. Mixed with how much energy I expended at the House of Glory show on Friday night. Mixed with just me trying to be emotionally invested in this fucking fantastic wrestling show for 3 hours. Once I got to this match, I wanted to just go to sleep. And I mean that with everything I have, man. You know I love NXT. Those watching me know I love NXT. This is what WWE should be, NXT. This women's match was fucking boring. Absolutely boring. And I'm not even blaming Shayna Baszler. I'm not. I'm not blaming Shayna Baszler. Shayna is fucking great. She is old school. She knows how to produce and tell a story. She knows how to methodically move. She knows how to dissect. She knows how to make a great wrestling match. Her comebacks are great. Her selling is great. Shayna is awesome. I am not blaming Shayna Baszler in this situation with Mia Yim for the Women's Championship. I don't get Mia Yim. I don't. And I don't think I will ever get Mia Yim. There's an issue with Mia Yim. Several issues with Mia Yim. If Mia Yim was to disappear from NXT's women's roster, I don't think I would shed a fucking tear. I don't think it would be any sweat off my back. I just wouldn't give a shit. That's how much, right now, Mia Yim has as far as stock goes in JD's world. She's worth zero. Not to say that she's not talented, not to say that she's not a quality pro wrestler. There's nothing about Mia Yim that makes me want to say, I want to see Mia Yim capture the Women's Championship. There's a reason why people are so indifferent to her. Guys, she's coming out with, I don't know, this thug-like theme music. She's coming out with an entrance that they gave her tonight with what looks to be a formation of individuals. One of them looked like Matt Riddle, to be honest with you. Dressed in fucking backwards baseball caps and bandanas covering their mouths. I don't know what she is. What is she? You can tell me about Mia Yim and her upbringing and how rough it was and how bad she had it as a child. You can tell the story of redemption and whatever else you want with Mia Yim. The people in this arena tonight didn't know what Mia Yim was. And that reaction is all I needed to see. I didn't even need to hear Toronto. I know, because I've been feeling it for months now. What is Mia Yim? What is she? She is portrayed as a babyface, and she's coming out dressed with fucking hood rats and thugs. To me, that's a heel. I don't think anyone's going to cheer that type of gimmick in WWE. Nobody gets it. There's the indifference. She's coming out with fucking people wearing backwards baseball caps and bandanas covering their mouths as if they're going to go into a fucking gang fight, wielding guns. I don't know whether they're going to rob the fucking 7-Eleven up the street or they're actually trying to be a pro wrestler. It's the indifference that's making Mia Yim get these type of reactions, which is no reaction. I don't get it. More and more and more, we see WWE pushing Mia Yim. This is it. This is it. Back to square one. Possible gimmick change, possible tweak or two to the gimmick. It's not working. It's not working. I want to like Mia Yim because I know some of her real life backstory. But she ain't doing it. She ain't doing it. And there's no way you were going to have her win the Women's Championship. None. Why are you going to take the title of what is probably your best commodity in the women's division right now in Shayna Baszler? Mia Yim of all fucking people, you're going to build Mia Yim up to take the title off of Shayna Baszler. Not my world. Not my world. This match was boring. And I thought Mia Yim was going to win this match because WWE gave me the boo-hoo story of Morrow telling us that Mia Yim's family is in Toronto for the first time ever to watch her wrestle Shayna Baszler tonight. I'm like, there we go. There's the clue that we got for Mia Yim winning the Women's Championship here. She got the entrance. She got the parents in attendance from the commentary team. I thought this was Shayna losing her title and then Shayna getting called up to the main roster. Or demoted, I should say, to the main roster. Baszler submitted Mia Yim here with a triangle head scissors. Story of this match was basically the arms. The arms. Shayna Baszler had her arm wrenched in the steel stairs. So the steel stairs were where they usually are. Mia Yim trapped Baszler's arm in the steel steps, kicked the steel steps, and that's what rendered Shayna Baszler pretty much useless. And she told a good story, man. Shayna didn't do half of what she usually does in a normal match because she sold the arm beautifully. Both were selling their arms. Baszler applied a wrist lock. Nigel on commentary was popping for something. I don't know. He was going crazy over something. I don't remember what it was. But Yim, with dirty tactics, by raking the eyes to get some momentum back on her, Yim flew through the ropes with a suicida. She then followed up by springboarding into a tornado DDT. Baszler cut her off with some typical Baszler strikes. Crowd was not buying any of this. The crowd was not buying any of this up until this point. Then, finally, after one big explosive move, one of my favorite moves because I've seen the Amazing Red use it time and time again in not only his career, but when I was calling his matches in House of Glory. Mia Yim went up to the top rope and did an avalanche code red, which Morrow called code blue, for a near fall. Crowd went crazy. They were actually legitimately thinking that was the end of the match. 1, 2, and people were like, oh, that could have been the end. I don't know if people were legitimately buying that move or just wanted the match to be fucking over at that point. So we got that code red, code blue, whatever you want to call it. And we got, after that, Baszler caught Yim in a Kirifuda clutch. So I'm like, oh yes, this match is over. Yes, she's not getting out of the Kirifuda clutch, man. It's over. Mia Yim's going to tap, and we got Baszler as the champion. Baszler's arm was too weak. She was selling the arm, so she couldn't get it on. So Yim was able to get herself free. Yim then gave Baszler a receipt by stomping her arm. You know how Shayna Baszler, pulls the arm back and stomps the arm? She did it to Dakota Kai. She did it to Kairi Sane. She did it to Io Shirai. She did it to everybody. So Mia Yim did that same thing to Shayna Baszler. So she's giving some revenge right back to Shayna. Stomped on the arm. Yim went for an armbar. She went for an armbar on Shayna Baszler, trying making her tap. Baszler countered again into applying the Kirifuda clutch. Yim was able to escape as Baszler's arm was still too weak. So I love the selling of the arm here. Again, I don't blame Baszler. I blame the indifference to Mia Yim and Mia Yim's character. Baszler then transitioned into a head scissors in the middle of the ring. Yim could not escape, and Mia Yim was choked out in a completely different way from Shayna Baszler. One in which her arm was rendered useless, so Baszler used her legs to tap out Mia Yim. How fucking great is Shayna Baszler? Oh my goodness, man. You put this woman on the main roster. If her first opponent is not Becky Lynch, you're doing something wrong, man. That shit sells itself. Get it done. At this point, I would never have this fucking woman lose the title. Maybe some of the indifference. I'm not going to say Shayna is completely fucking like Miss Perfect. But some of the indifference here, most of it came from Mia Yim. All of the indifference in the build-up came from Mia Yim. Shayna Baszler, you know what you're going to get. You see Shayna, you know what you're going to get when you see her. But I honestly think some of that is coming from Shayna having the title too long. It's like, I think people are like almost anticipating Shayna to lose the title. I hope, and I hope this is the case. Shayna has done such a fantastic fucking job. She needs to get in the ring with the right person. And if WWE builds it up right, the pop that person is going to get when they finally beat Baszler and take the title from Baszler and we say goodbye to Shayna in NXT, it should be a major pop. They're doing this for a reason. They believe in Shayna so much. They've built Shayna up as a dominant force in this women's division. I hope if it's Bianca, if it's Candice, that when that title is ready to come off Shayna, no matter if it's either one of them, preferably Candice, I hope that it gets a major reaction and everybody's fucking thrilled and it goes over big. That's all I hope. I seriously hope that's the case. But this one was easily the worst match of the evening. One of the worst women's matches I think we've seen in NXT in a very long time. Not because of Baszler, but because of the indifference in Mia Yim. No one knows who she is. No one knows what she is. And if WWE doesn't make any tweaks, I don't see Mia Yim going anywhere in the women's division in NXT. And quickly, she's going to be bypassed by the likes of Casey, Lacey, Lane, and Deonna Purrazzo, Chelsea Green. She might be taking a back seat, man. So something needs to be done about Mia if anybody in that company wants me to believe and be emotionally invested in what she's got to do. Finally, guys, the main event. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. We seen Walter, I believe, right before this in the crowd. Forgot to mention, usually with these takeovers, we see people in the crowd. Walter was there. Ricochet was there. I'm sure Ricochet was thinking in the back of his mind, man, I can't stand Monday Night Raw. Please, H, take me back. We've seen Austin Theory in the crowd. Austin Theory, the Evolve World Champion. A fucking stud. Can't wait to see him in NXT. This was a foreshadowing, folks. Austin Theory is going to be in NXT sooner rather than later. It's going to be awesome. I can see him main eventing a takeover incredibly quick. I see it right now. They're going to find this guy to be their next John Cena. I'm telling you right now, man. He's that good. He's that good. Main event. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. On the pre-show, we got William Regal. And he said, I'm unveiling what we are going to have when we get to a third fall. We got this steel cage match. I didn't think they were going to do a steel cage match because it's kind of difficult to sell something that's hanging right above the fucking ring. But I did see pictures I did see pictures. I wasn't sure if the fucking cloth around the cage was still up there while the match was happening, but something was clearly hanging above. But they showed a visual of it on the pre-show. I don't know if the live crowd was filled in as to what the fucking match was. Maybe they just showed it for the live TV audience watching at home and they didn't show anything in the arena. Because that crowd fucking popped for what they see. Steel cage. Generic steel cage match in WWE, but this was an ECW style cage. Sledgehammers, chairs, fire extinguishers, kendo sticks, barbed wire wrapped around the entire upper portion of the cage. Tables, ladders, everything that you can think of. A bag of fucking tools, brass knuckles, chains, pliers, everything that WWE typically uses in these gimmick matches was nailed down to this cage. So it was like a human death fucking Saw-like environment. All I needed was Jigsaw to pop out of this motherfucker, and that's the type of vibe you got. So I'm like, yep, this is definitely going to a third fall. They didn't really suspend anybody's belief in that. But Johnny Adam. Jesus Christ, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm so fucking exhausted. I hope this review is good up until this point. I hope I've made sense here, man. So much wrestling overload this weekend. Johnny Gargano. Or Gargano, according to fucking that idiot on the pre-show, whatever his fucking name is. Pat McAfee. What a fucking ass. Johnny Gargano. No, it's Gargano! You fucking cretin. Anyway, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. Johnny Gargano went into this thing being heavily booed. Adam Cole, incredibly fucking over. I'm thinking to myself, I can't wait till Vince McMahon tweaks his gimmick, or not his gimmick, his entrance, so he doesn't get the boom, and then he doesn't get the Adam Cole baby, because why? It'll be the most over thing on the fucking main roster, and we can't have that. You can't be more over than Roman Reigns. Watch. I'm anticipating it, man. What, Undisputed Era's gonna go to the main roster feud with the OC, right? Yeah, let me see. Let me see how well that is fucking executed. Johnny Gargano came out dressed as... who? Wolverine. Awesome. Adam Cole came out dressed as the fucking world champion. Adam Cole, baby. Match started with Adam Cole's stipulation, which was a standard wrestling match. This was a standard wrestling match. It was determined, apparently, by a coin toss, which Mauro Ranallo had issued a statement on commentary for. So we didn't see the coin toss. I would have liked to see the coin toss in the middle of the fucking ring. Would have been a little bit more, I would say, epic, just to fill in with the overall vibe of everything. Cole was awarded the first and third falls in this match. Clearly, we talked about him winning and retaining the championship here. Now, I mentioned that I thought this was the second best match in their trilogy. This was fantastic. This was holy shit. This was emotionally invested in everything that these guys did. For some reason, man, that TakeOver New York match was, to me, the best match that NXT has ever produced. And right underneath that is fucking Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas TakeOver Philadelphia. Johnny Gargano is probably in, half of the fucking greatest matches that this promotion has put on. That's how good he is. He's Johnny Wrestling for a reason. This is going to go down as one of the best trilogies in the history of this company. I believe that TakeOver New York match was one of the best matches not only NXT produced, but I think it's one of the best matches in the history of WWE, period. Don't at me on that. I firmly believe that. Some of you might not like it. Some of you might not like the false finishes and shit. I thought it was awesome. I loved every minute of it. I went back and watched it a couple weeks ago, and it's as if I watched it for the first time. Shit like that, man. I love this business so much, and I'm so passionate about just good wrestling, and NXT has my heart. You watch that type of shit, and you're so proud of the work that went into making that match fucking so epic. It legitimately brings a tear to your eye. It really does. So, this match, I'm not going to say it was a bad match, because this was absolutely fucking phenomenal. It was a situation where I thought it was kind of gimmicky. Not to say that was a bad thing. It was kind of gimmicky because I think back to that TakeOver New York match, and I'm like, fuck. I understand on one hand this is a complete blow-off. How many times can they have a match like they had in New York? How many times can they have a match like they had at TakeOver 25? You can't recreate that. So I understand as far as that aspect, but you look at these two guys, and you're looking at the fucking, the sledgehammers, and the barbed wire, and the tables, and the kendo sticks, and the fucking handcuffs, and everything that they got in there, man. Everything, seriously. Do they really need it? Do they really need all these gimmicks? These are two of the best wrestlers on the face of this earth. They don't need all these cheesy gimmicks and these weapons. You let them go out there and you let them give you a fucking... If you wanted to do a 1 hour Iron Man match, I would have been fucking completely content with that, man. I really would have. It would have been the same fucking thing. We would all been sitting here telling each other it was the best match of the fucking year. Seriously. But that was the only thing I did not like about it. I didn't mind it because I understood it was a blow off here for this feud. They blew it all off. But Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole don't need any of these gimmicks. They don't. Anyway. Cole won the first fall via DQ. Johnny used the chair. The first fall was Adam Cole's match. It was a wrestling match. I'm not going to go over everything that happened here because if you watched their first match, if you watched their second match, you got the gist of what they did in the first fall here. Johnny Gargano took a steel chair. Now, Adam Cole wanted the steel chair because he was starting to get frustrated that he couldn't beat Johnny Gargano. And this was his match. He said, I'm going to out-wrestle you. I'm going to beat you because I beat you in this type of match at TakeOver 25. I'm going to do it again to win the first fall. I don't need any gimmicks. Funny that he said that because then the steel cage match included gimmicks and Adam Cole won, beating him with gimmicks. So Adam Cole failed at the steel chair attempt. Referee got in his face, took the chair away from him. Adam Cole went back for the steel chair. He got in the referee's face and started pushing the referee around. Referee was telling Adam Cole, don't put your fingers on me. I'm the authority here. You listen to me. Then Johnny Gargano uses the steel chair because he's demented and he's a lunatic and he doesn't give a shit. He used the steel chair on Adam Cole and he got a disqualification. Adam Cole won the first fall without even pinning Johnny Gargano. So Johnny Gargano got himself intentionally disqualified by using an illegal object in a wrestling match against Adam Cole. Gargano then evened the falls when Cole tapped out to the Gargano escape in a street fight. So this one kind of bled into the crowd. He used the steel chair on Johnny Gargano. They went into the crowd. Johnny was taking someone's souvenir cup and he bashed the souvenir cup over Adam Cole's head. He took someone's cell phone and took a selfie with it. It was great. He jumped off one of the stands and did a double axe handle. They made their way back to the ring. And he ended up winning with the Gargano escape. And that was pretty much it. Now, at the end of this thing, Cole went on to pin Gargano in the cage after both fell off the top of the cage and through a table. There was 2 tables set up, but they went through 1 table. I would have loved that they went through 2 tables, but this was crazy. And we're going to get into all this and kind of break this thing down. The opening fall was, like I said, what you would have expected from the first 2 matches. There was nothing new here. They grappled, ran through a few sequences, trying to feel each other out. They were thinking of each other, doing what they thought they were going to do. They were always one step ahead of each other. So you kind of got the gist that they kind of learned from each other's mistakes in the first 2 matches. And then when they tried to attempt to do the same thing, they kind of knew what was coming before it was coming, type of deal. That's what happened here in the first match. So Gargano had Cole reeling and trapped in an Indian deathlock. Cole eventually made the ropes. Cole gave Gargano a wheelbarrow suplex into the side of the apron. Cole then went for his Panama Sunrise, which he eventually hit a couple of times in this thing, only for Gargano to escape with an explosive suplex in the corner. Michinoku Driver got Gargano a near fall in the first round. He jumped off the ropes with a double foot stomp onto Cole's knee, set up a figure 4 leg lock. Cole was able to escape. He delivered a wheelbarrow suplex for a 2. They traded some kicks. Gargano used a sunset driver for a 2 count. Cole countered with a Michinoku Driver for a 2 count of his own. They both went down with double clotheslines, and that transitioned into Cole grabbing the steel chair from ringside, brought it into the ring. The ref took it from him. That was the distraction that Johnny needed. So that led to Cole grab the steel chair. Referee took it from him. Referee took the chair from Cole, and he placed the chair on the outside. While the referee's back was turned, Adam Cole took a punt kick to Johnny's nuts. He kicked him right between the fucking legs, And it was awesome. I was laughing hysterically at this. For whatever reason, I was laughing hysterically at this. Gargano still managed to kick out after the kick to the nuts. Man, he's got some intestinal fortitude, let me tell you. So Cole takes the chair again. He sits in the chair this time, and he's now teasing Johnny Gargano. Cole began arguing with the ref again. They turned around, and he walked into a super kick. Gargano then grabbed the chair and hit Cole with the chair for a DQ. Adam Cole wins the first fall by basically doing nothing because Johnny Gargano is fucking stupid. So Cole won the first fall. Now, I thought it was great. I thought it was great when I first seen the DQ. As the second fall went on, I'm like, man, Johnny looked like an idiot for getting himself disqualified. I thought it was great in the beginning because Johnny, I thought he was just going to fucking completely destroy Adam Cole with the steel chair, but then they went into the crowd, and then the second fall got prolonged. Adam Cole tried to come back, and he almost won the second fall. So at the end of it, it looked like Johnny Gargano had made a major, major mistake. And he looked like an idiot because he got himself disqualified. Now, if he went on a fucking brutal beatdown and pinned Adam Cole immediately in the second fall, it would have made a lot more sense because he knew that he was transitioning into his 3-fall rules and that, you know, I'm going to get myself disqualified because I know I'm going to win the second round. I got no rules. It's my fucking stipulation. I'm going to do what I want, beat this guy right here and now, and beat him in a couple of minutes. But he dragged it on. And he looked like a dummy in the end, which I don't say about Johnny a lot, but that did not make him look smart. So they brawled into the crowd. They brawled around the building. Like I mentioned, souvenir cups, selfies, you name it. So they went back into the ringside area, and Johnny Gargano speared Adam Cole through the timekeeper's area. Both were down. Morrow was going crazy. Big Mamma Mia chant. So Gargano then brought tables into the ring. He brought tables into the ring because it's a street fight. So why not? So these tables were not used. These tables were not used whatsoever. Cole cut off Gargano with a Shining Wizard. He then gave, which looked brutal by the way, he then gave Gargano the Ushigoroshi on a chair for a near fall. Which I don't know why Johnny opted to take that spot, but he did. I don't like the Ushigoroshi or anything like that on the chair because shit could go horribly wrong. And they did it again in the steel cage match, which looked even more brutal. This Ushigoroshi was on the fucking flat back of the chair, on the seat portion. The next spot that they did in the third fall, it was on top of the fucking back of the chair. Which, again, I don't know why that happened. That's just fucking sheer stupidity. Anyway, Ushigoroshi on the chair. Cole wedged the chair in between the two turnbuckles. He then was hoping to use this to his advantage, but Gargano did his long dart on Adam Cole on the chair that was propped in between the ropes, and then the Gargano escape, and that was pretty much it. Adam Cole, we had go down in the second fall, so now we got 1 and 1. So Adam Cole taps out to the Gargano escape, and Gargano's got 1 fall in the second match. And Adam Cole won via DQ in the first. So now we got the ominous steel cage coming down. People are chanting ECW. People are chanting, thank you, Regal. These sick fucks in Toronto. I knew you were sick fucks up there, man. I love it. Absolutely love it. So we got the crowd thanking Regal for this. I loved it. I was laughing. They exchanged strikes in the middle of the ring. These guys were just completely beat down. They were fucking exhausted. You seen it all over their face, all over their bodies. Johnny connected with a clothesline, grabbed the kendo stick off the cage. Cole hit a super kick and grabbed the kendo stick of his own. This was one of my favorite spots of the night, man. Back and forth with kendo sticks, man. They were swinging away like they were fucking teeing off in a home run derby. Back and forth with the kendo sticks. And then at the end, the kendo stick shots couldn't take it no more. They ended up super kicking each other, and they both fell down. Crowd was fucking chanting NXT. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Johnny hit a reverse Rana, and then a super kick for a near fall. Those reverse Ranas, man, I gotta be honest with you, they scare the fucking living shit out of me every time somebody does them. I know these guys are professional, man, but all it takes is one slip up, and you're done. They look great, but man, how many are going to be done before something bad happens? Crowd chanted fight forever on more than one occasion in this thing. I don't know why you want these guys to fight forever. They were in the 3 last TakeOver main events. Enough. No more. And after tonight, Johnny may never be fighting forever again. He may be in fucking 3-minute squash matches on Monday Night Raw. Cole hit Gargano with a chair and slammed him into the cage. Adam connected with a backstabber. Went for cover. Johnny kicked out. Gargano sprayed Cole with a fire extinguisher because why the fuck not? It's there. You're using it. He sprayed him with a fire extinguisher. Hit a tornado DDT off the top on top of a steel chair. That's the spot I'm talking about. Or tornado DDT on top of a fucking steel chair. Don't know why spots like that are being produced in this match. That looked fucking as sick as anything all night. Why? Unreal. Both guys were down. They tried to climb back up and grab a sledgehammer. They wanted to bury one another with this sledgehammer. Triple H, I know, probably put that up there himself. So the sledgehammer is up there. They're going for it. Gargano looked like he had trouble taking it out. It looked like it was really fucking stuck in there. And Gargano leapt down and planted Cole with a power bomb off the top rope. A sunset bomb off the top rope. And he went right back up to go grab the jackhammer. Oh, not the jackhammer. I'm thinking about fucking Goldberg. Fucking kill me. The sledgehammer. Brought it down to the ring. Gargano went to hit Cole with the sledgehammer, but Cole connected with a super kick out of nowhere. Cole climbed up to the top turnbuckle and grabbed a ladder. Why not? Why not? Cole launched the ladder at Johnny, but it missed. Thank God he, I guess, used his Wolverine abilities to move out of the way. Cole then hit the Panama Sunrise for a near fall off the top rope. Cole climbed up the ladder, and I don't know what difference it makes. Off the top rope, off the ladder, the Panama Sunrise looks the same no matter where you do it, because it's not how high he is. He's actually harming himself more with the amount of height he gets. So whether it's off the top rope or the ladder, it all looks the same. Climbed up the ladder and jumped off and delivered another Panama Sunrise for a 2 count. Adam Cole hit Gargano with a kendo stick. Crowd was chanting, "Yowie, wowie." Cole then pulled his knee pad down. He was going for the last shot, but Gargano got out of the way, and Adam's knee hit the chair. There was another steel chair propped up, because why the fuck not? Gargano went for an STO with a kendo stick, but Cole broke it up by biting Johnny's hand. Of course. No rules, man. Good on you. Gargano hit Cole in the ribs with a sledgehammer, and Adam Cole was selling this thing like he was fucking Seth Rollins spewing up blood, but we didn't get the blood here. Morrow sold it on commentary brilliantly. Adam Cole's got a broken rib, or at least a cracked rib. So Gargano hit Cole in the ribs with a sledgehammer and then set up 2 tables by the ladder in the corner. And up above, I didn't know what the fuck was up there. Honestly, it looked to me, in the corner in which he set the tables up, it looked like there was a table with glass shards on it. I don't know what it was. It was probably up there just for aesthetics. I don't know what was on it. Or it might have been just a regular table with some graffiti on it. I couldn't get a clear look at what it was. But obviously, it came into play towards the end of the match. So Johnny sets up these 2 tables. Johnny places Cole on top of one of the tables. He rolls off. Crowd starts booing. So he starts to climb the ladder. Adam Cole rolled off the table. And then Johnny climbed back up and hit Cole in the back with a kendo stick. Johnny hit a Canadian Destroyer of his own. And off the second rope for a near fall. Johnny grabbed pliers. There was a bag stapled or fucking hung from the cage. I thought there was thumbtacks in it. So in the bag was brass knuckles, chains, and a pair of pliers. So Johnny's like, this looks interesting. Johnny climbs the top of the steel cage, and he cuts off a piece of the barbed wire that's wrapped around the top of the cage. He pulls it down, and now he's got a piece of barbed wire in his hand. No one knows what he's going to do. So Cole climbed up top of the cage and tried to escape because he was afraid of his life now that Johnny has barbed wire. So he tried to escape as Gargano climbed up the ladder. They then battled on top of the cage. And that table that was propped on top of the ladder and underneath the ladder in the ring was 2 tables. So they were on top of this thing. Crowd was chanting, "Please don't die." Gargano tried to rake Cole's face with the barbed wire, but Adam Cole blocked it. Cole grabbed Gargano, and then both of them, you see, in one fluid transition. Barbed wire eyes. Cole said, "Fuck no." They flew off the top of the cage, landed through the table. Cole landed on top of Gargano. Referee made the 3 count. 1, 2, 3, and you've seen a clear shot of Adam Cole's back. The blood that was bleeding from his back. He had this huge gash on his kidney area. That obviously had to be from the table because that wasn't there when he was up there. His entire back, man, was fucking bubbled It was it looked like his back looked. It looked like someone took a cheese grater and just started scraping his fucking back with the cheese grater. That's how brutal this shit was. I might have went too far on social media. I mentioned that this was a modern day version of what Mick Foley and The Undertaker did inside Hell in a Cell in Pittsburgh at King of the Ring. I wouldn't say it went that far because absolutely nothing ever, as long as we're alive, till the day we die, is never even going to fucking replicate what those two guys did in King of the Ring. But the risk that these guys took was unbelievable. Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole are two of the very best that this business has to offer right now. No matter what you think of them, there's no way you didn't enjoy this shit. No matter how hokey you think it was, no matter how gimmicky you think it was kind of gimmicky for the amount of talent that these two guys have. You could put them in anything and they're going to deliver. That's how great they are. Tonight, not only did they blow off the feud, but they pretty much proved to you that they are two of the very best that this business has to offer. They may be two of the very best in the entire world. Seriously. These two guys are two guys that you build an entire company around. This is how much love I have for both of these guys, man. It's unbelievable because there's nothing left for Johnny Gargano to do. He's done. He's done. And that breaks my heart because I've been such a huge fan of Johnny that I don't want to see him be treated any other way than what NXT has treated him or how NXT has treated him. I don't want to see him go to Vince. I don't want to see him do anything. There's a potential that Vince could see Shawn Michaels in him. There's a potential that Vince could see a Bret Hart in him. We don't know. But this Vince McMahon is demented and senile, and he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't think Johnny Gargano is going to survive on the main roster. I really don't. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know what's going to happen. Now, he's got the love and adulation of everybody in NXT. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, everyone. Literally, Matt Bloom, everyone. If Johnny Gargano does not succeed, then how does that look to them? Johnny's been their boy. Johnny's been their man. For how long? If Johnny doesn't replicate what he did in NXT, how is that going to make everyone look? Worse yet, how is everyone going to feel? That's gotten Johnny to this point of fucking ungodliness. You know? Triple H would be heartbroken to see Johnny Gargano suffer in any other way. Vince will probably fucking ruin him because he gets his cock hard by seeing what Triple H has created. Fail. That's what I'm afraid of. Vince doesn't understand NXT. How the fuck can you have this guy in reports running NXT, which I don't want to talk about right now. We'll talk about it on Wednesday, but I'm going to give you a glimpse of what I'm thinking right now, just briefly. Why is Vince so obsessed now with possibly running NXT? Oh, because it's going against AEW? You know why that's happening, right? You know why Vince now, if NXT does, it's not confirmed, if NXT moves to FS1 from 8 to 10, live on Wednesdays to go against TNT and AEW, that means Vince is going to be there. That means Kevin Dunne is more than likely going to be on board. You know their influence is going to be vast on NXT for a live show. Vince's influence on NXT, man, I think I'm turning white as a fucking ghost. Why does Vince want NXT now when he didn't give a shit about NXT for the last 6 years? Why? Because he knows if Triple H is producing the quality of NXT that we see now, and it beats AEW, that means Triple H is going to be associated with doing something that Vince didn't do. Vince wants to end and kill AEW himself. So he's going to inject his poison into what doesn't need Vince, so that at the end, when NXT beats AEW, he's the one who gets all the praise, and Triple H doesn't. Vince can't live with the fact that Triple H could potentially combat AEW by basically doing nothing that is required. He doesn't need to do anything. What he needs to do is continue putting on shows like he did tonight, and everything will be okay. You didn't make him executive director of Monday Night Raw for a reason. So let him lead NXT. You didn't make him director for this simple reason. To make sure NXT is in the right place. Now you want to be in front of NXT as they battle AEW? Why don't you worry about making Monday Night Raw what it should be, instead of ruining the best fucking thing that you have right now under the WWE flag? I'm getting out of here, man. NXT Toronto was fucking fantastic. Outside Mia Yim and Shayna Baszler. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, man. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm having a bowl of ice cream, and I'm going the fuck to bed. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to inject myself with 4 cups of coffee. And then SummerSlam, I hope I stay awake. Because right now, I'm not excited about anything outside Bray Wyatt. But apparently they're going TV 14. We'll see what happens, man. Blood, carnage, brutality. Let's see WWE step it up, man. I'd be genuinely shocked. But I'll tell you what. If they do anything that is remotely good, I'll be the first one to fucking let you know. Thank you guys so much, man. I'm getting out of here. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the podcast tonight on NXT Takeover Toronto. If you guys were attending the event, I hope you had a good time. I hope that you have a good time tomorrow at SummerSlam, but I doubt it. I will be home for 6 hours, trying not to fall asleep. But please hit that thumbs up, man. I will see you all tomorrow for the SummerSlam review. There will be no content going up before SummerSlam because I want to focus on being relaxed and rested. But if you guys missed any other content, everything you need will be down in the comments, man. I'm going to pin off the scripts down in the comments. Go and check it out, man. Easy access for you guys. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's both on Twitter and Instagram. And I will see you guys right back here for Summer Scam tomorrow. By the way, I have to put it up because Sal Rex would be very disappointed. There you go, folks. Summer Scam, the biggest fraud of the summer. Tomorrow, August 11th, I'll be here for the official review right here on Off the Script, guys. Thank you so much. Again, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you right back here for Summer Scam, the biggest fraud of the summer. Go Lesnar. I'll see you guys later.